The desert sun was dipping low over the horizon, casting long, golden shadows across the dusty streets of Al-Rahima village, so small that most maps didn't even bother marking it. The villagers were finishing their daily routines. Women hauling water from the central well, children chasing each other down narrow lanes, and farmers returning from their fields with tired bodies and calloused hands. And there, by the heart of the village, sat an old man on a worn wooden bench beside the well. His clothes were simple, faded from decades of sun and wind. His hands, weathered and lined, rested quietly on his walking stick. His eyes, calm yet piercing, scanned the horizon with unwavering focus. Tapasis bi. He was just Hasanda. Quiet, solitary figure who always seemed to be there, day after day, year after year. But the truth of Hassan's story was far more remarkable than anyone in the village knew. 55 years ago, Hassan was not an old man sitting beside a well. He was a young soldier, strong, disciplined, proud, assigned to a small patrol unit during a regional conflict. His mission was simple, but vital. Guard the only water source in this village. The well was life itself. Without it, the villagers would have no water, no food, no future. At first, Hassan thought the duty would be temporary weeks, maybe months. But war has a way of stretching time in cruel, unrelenting ways. Days became weeks, weeks became months. The conflict finally ended, but Hassan's patrol unit was dispersed, their orders lost amidst the chaos. One soldier left to find his family, another vanished entirely. But Hassan stayed. He stayed because a soldier's duty is never abandoned. He stayed because he believed in protecting life, even when no one else remembered. The first years were hard. Hassan built a small shelter near the well, repaired its wooden cover, and helped villagers carry heavy buckets. People occasionally brought him food or tried to persuade him to leave, but he politely refused. Until someone officially relieves me, my duty continues, he would say. Decades passed. Children grew up, playing around the well, then had children of their own. Many villagers came to regard Hassan as a fixture of their lives, a mysterious, silent guardian who had always been there. They never fully understood why he never left. Hassan's life became a quiet rhythm. Wake before dawn, watch over the well, assist anyone who needed help, and retreat to his small shelter at night. His devotion never wavered. Seasons changed, leaders changed, wars came and went, but Hassan remained. Then one winter, a young schoolteacher named Samir arrived in Al-Larim, curious about the village's history. He noticed Hassan sitting by the well, as he had every day. Samir approached the village elder and asked, "Why does that man never leave?" The elder sighed, recounting the story. The war, the orders, the soldiers who never returned, and the man who had stayed behind. Samir was astonished. 50 years, he asked. The elder nodded. 50 years guarding a single well, because he never received official orders to stop. Samir decided to meet Hassan. He walked to the well, sat on the edge beside him, and asked quietly, "Sir, why do you stay here after all these years?" Hassan gazed at the horizon. "Because this well holds life," he sighed simply, "and someone must protect life, even when the world forgets." Samir was deeply moved. Inspired, he contacted the regional military office and shared Hassan's story. At first, officials doubted him, but after digging through old records, they discovered the truth. Hassan had indeed been assigned to guard the well, and his duty had never been officially terminated. Months later, a military delegation arrived in Al-Rahim. The villagers gathered in anticipation, curious about the men in uniform. Hassan, now stooped with age, but still sharp-eyed, watched quietly as the officers approached. "Sergeant Hassan," one of them said, saluting, "on behalf of the armed forces, you are hereby officially relieved from your post." Hassan stood slowly, as if rising from a lifetime of commitment. "So, my duty is finished?" he asked, almost unsure how to feel. The officer smiled warmly. "Yes, you have served faithfully, beyond any record we have ever seen. Your dedication is unmatched." Hassan looked down at the well he had protected for half a century. He ran his fingers over its stone edge, remembering every moment. The children he helped, the water he safeguarded, the seasons that passed. the wars that came and went. This well had been his purpose, his mission, his life. The villagers erupted in applause, tears streaming down faces young and old. They had lived alongside a legend without even realizing it. Hassan, however, only smiled quietly. Recognition was never the reward. The reward had always been knowing he had kept his promise. That day, Hassan finally stepped away from the well, but his presence had left a mark on the village far greater than anyone could have imagined. Children would hear stories of the silent guardian. Parents would teach their kids about duty and honor. And the walls, still flowing with life, would forever be a symbol of the man who had given everything for something so simple and so essential. Sometimes, the greatest heroes are not remembered in history books. Sometimes, they are the quiet ones, standing watch, doing the right thing, even when no one is watching. And Hassan, the forgotten soldier, had done exactly that for 50 years.